Where were you when you heard that Kamala Harris was going to be the Democratic nominee for the Democratic Party of America for the 2024 race? Well, for me, where was I? Yes, I was at a lunch with my mom, and we were in the United States. I was on vacation, and we were eating and having lunch, and it was nice because I never had my mom and I never have one-on-one time, but it was my mom and I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and my mom got a notification on her phone, and we just couldn't believe it. Family members started calling us, and we were just talking about it on our way home after the lunch that we had at this Thai place, which honestly, it was okay. That's where I was, because what people don't understand, this is a monumental, huge deal. Yes, Kamala Harris did run for president in I think 2016, but it was a lot of people was running. Like, a lot of people were running. And obviously she wasn't even close to being a nominee. She was it was also one of the times where I think Cory Booker run and Pete Buttigieg run. It was like all these, people who were running at this time. And so it wasn't like, it was quite obvious that she wasn't going to be like even close to president, but she was just going to be running like that. She was going to run. I could be wrong. It's either 2016 or I guess 2012. I could be wrong. Anyways, but the reason why it's such a big deal, because this is actually a chance in which we could see the first woman, the first Black woman, the first South Asian woman to become president of the United States. And this is a big deal. Like, it's not even something that we can downplay because of this history that America has with slavery and Black people and how they've marginalized, discriminated, brutal, criminalized, sexualize Black bodies for decades, since the beginning of the creation of the country. And I think descendants of slaves and Martin Luther King and the slaves who are still alive today would be completely in shock, probably, and would be in tears or be full of emotion at where we are today in the election landscape, which is a Black woman running for the United States of America with no other Democratic nominee running. And you guys are probably wondering, oh my God, that's so... I think that's the other argument too. People are saying, oh, it's so undemocratic for, Biden to just give all of his delegates to Kamala Harris and put his weight behind Kamala Harris without the people actually doing that. Well, let's look at after that happened. First of all, the delegates do not just vote for Kamala Harris when the time comes. They actually vote their conscience. They vote whatever that sways them. So that's why when Kamala Harris, was tapped to be the nominee, she had to call each and every delegate, call, the minority caucus leader, call, the Hispanic, caucus leader, and all of these organizations, community organizations, because she still needed to win them. Just because Biden said, I tap you to run after to replace me, it does not mean that everybody will support her. So that's why she said in her statement on Twitter, I think she released it on Twitter, that she will accept this nominee and she will earn this nominee, because not everybody supports her. So $100 million were raised, okay, over 24 hours after she was tapped by Joe Biden. This is a huge deal. Not only did it break records, the only time where a presidential nominee, raised this amount of money within limited time, within 24 hours, the people who donated money to Kamala Harris were first-time donors And these were individual donors. I think 60% of the $100 million were less than were individual people who donated less than 2K. So with that being said, that's proof right there that the people want this. The people are desperate for this. And that goes for a variety of reasons, right? But before we go into that, people want Kamala Harris. Like, they wanted her. They want her. They raised $100 million within 24 hours, and that should be proof that the people chose her. There, I think about 100K or 30K new volunteers were raised in record numbers within days of her being tapped by Joe Biden when Joe Biden dropped out of the race and Kamala replaced him. That is unheard of. I don't think people don't understand that. So with those numbers in mind, that's why nobody's running, against her. That's why you have, Governor Gretchen not running. You have Pete Buttigieg not running. You don't have the governor of California running. You don't have the governor of Michigan, the governor of Arkansas, not Arkansas, I think it's Kentucky running. In fact, they're considered VPs because of the support that she's getting from people, from the ground. So, and that's why when they think about the excitement, this is the excitement that they're talking about. It's incredible to see. And as a black woman who never thought that a black woman can be a president of the United States, to just see that, not only like this would do wonders for, young black girls and young South Asian girls who were told that you can't do this because of the color of your skin and because of your gender. You know what? You're a human being. You can do it because she did it. If she did it, then you can do it too. So representation does matter. And I did study this in school. Representation matters a lot. It inspires. And that's why you have tens of thousands of people, young people wanting to vote now, tens of thousands of people wanting to cast their ballot, wanting to volunteer, wanting to do whatever they can to help the Kamala campaign, because her just running for president with the backing of Joe Biden and the resources and the money and the delegates, she has a good chance of winning. And that is something that we never thought we could see in anybody's lifetime. Look, we're progressive. We're the 2024, we should all know what racism is. We should all know, we live in a very progressive world, right? Where bad things shouldn't happen, but they still do. Like, racism still exists. We still have wars, and they're backed by ego and power and political interest. And that's just the way it is. That's where we are. And yes, as time goes on, we learn from our past mistakes and our history. But as we move on, sometimes we do end up repeating history. We are led by our selfish desires and needs, and not by what is morally right and what is good for someone else, selfishly. So this means actually more than people can actually understand. And it's something that it's exciting to see. Like, I'm so thankful to witness this in my lifetime. And I never thought it could happen. There is a trend of women leaders, presidents, and prime ministers around the globe. We have the president of Mexico that have been elected. She's a Jewish woman, a more liberal candidate. People are really wanting that, even though there are a lot of countries moving more nationalist, like, Italy, and other countries like that. Some that's more, aristocratic, like what's happening in the Philippines, I believe, the protests. And then there are a lot of, liberal countries like Poland, and what's happening even actually in Canada, where I'm at. Like, it's actually becoming more nationalist. But, I think U.S., we want a more liberal candidate. And Kamala Harris historically have been centrist but leaning liberal, which is actually refreshing. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people like Kamala Harris is because she's so refreshing. She's different. I think everybody is excited to see what a woman elected would look like. And we live in a world where, yes, a woman can truly do anything. And the fact that someone has to say that and prove to somebody else is insane. But, you know, we're past that time where we have policies that says that women can't do this and women can't do that. And we're in the workforce and women and men are getting paid equally and they're treated equally in and out of the workforce and in the culture and society. So why not a woman become president, you know? So I think a lot of people are really ready for that. And I think, honestly, we've been ready for that. I think we're kind of, ready for a woman president. And if a woman ran like 4 years ago, I think that woman would have won if they were liberal leaning and, you know, as competent and as, you know, experienced as Kamala Harris. So what are the reasons why people like Kamala Harris? There are many reasons. I think, like I said, one of them, like I just mentioned, she's a woman. She's different. She's not a white male, right? She's not a white male in a suit. She is a woman who's quirky and funny, and her smile to me is so infectious. I personally love her smile, and I love the fact that she always looks so happy and content, and that's just so, it's so warm to, it's so warming to see that someone's so content and happy in their job, because I'm personally not. But to see that in every aspect of her job is quite inspiring and different. You really don't see that. And so she's quirky. She's giving like turkey recipes on TikTok and she's dancing at a barbecue. Like, that's what we want to see. You want to see a person who's human. And that's the second point. She's human. She's not afraid to show that she likes diagrams. She's not afraid to talk about her quotes that her grandma used to give her. You know, you think you fell out of a coconut tree? No, you live in the context. Oh, I forgot the quote. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You live in the context of everything that came before you and the present. It's like the present. You live in the context of the past and also the the present. So you're how I interpret it. If people interpret it as, oh, you know, you should unburden yourself with what's happening in the past, but I interpret it as you are a amalgamation, accumulation of what you've been through and where you are. So the actions and the decisions that you are making in the present are not just about, you know, the choice in the moment, but it's also based on your circumstances, based on your opinions and your feelings that have been shaped over time since the beginning of when you've been on this earth. And also your viewpoints and your biases and, you know, things that you've been exposed to. So that's kind of how I interpreted that. People are saying, oh, I've been unburdened with the past, when actually we're just connected to the past and we're connected to the present. That's kind of how I interpret that quote. I'm not really sure. Also, guys, please do subscribe and like this video. If you don't like this video, I don't know if you guys actually like these videos like this, so it's really important for me that you guys do like it. I don't know if you guys also comment if you guys like this background or like the pink background. I kind of like this format because it's a bit more intimate versus the pink format. The pink background, I guess like the camera is a bit further away from my face, but this is like really close and upfront and it's a bit more intimate. But anyways, Kamala Harris is just human. Third is she's black. Yes, people are voting because she's black, and I'm one of them. People are voting because she's South Asian. You know, there's something to say about the things that are happening in this world. Sometimes you just have to have that lived experience to understand what's happening. I feel as if, you know, when it's like, and also she's a woman, right? When talking about abortion, we're talking about free choice and pro-life. She's a woman. She's probably experienced, you know, situations in which she had to choose, okay, have the baby or not have the baby, right? She's probably been pregnant before. And then you have the fact that she's black. She's have a lot of lived experiences about being a black woman, but she also is mixed race, so she's a mixed black woman. So she has a lot of experience with dealing with issues in regards to where she belongs. And that's what my mixed race friends have gone through, which is they don't look what their DNA says that they are. So they look like a different race. So she always, I'm assuming, based on what my friends have gone through, has to prove to others that she is black, or prove that she is South Asian, because she doesn't typically or stereotypically look like that. So she can talk from that point of view because she's been from that point of view and she has that experience. There's also the fact that because she's a black woman in America, she understands our history, she understands where we should go. So that's like really compelling too. And she's a black woman. Like, I think a lot of us are voting because we want somebody to be there. So a black woman who has the skills and the experience and has the ambition to become president, hopefully me one day, can do that because she's a pioneer, technically, right? She can pave the way for other racialized people who have that same ambition to be there. So that's the third or fourth reason. I don't know. My nails are kind of gross. Just ignore my nails. I'm trying to figure out a way. I only got my nails done in Toronto. I don't live in Toronto, so I need to figure out a way to go to Toronto. I've been really busy, so that's why they're kind of looking so nasty. Anyways, I digress. But just a little tangent there. Another reason why people like her is because that she's also worked with Biden. So the policies that she has may not stray too much, even though she does have, she's different in certain policies. She's quite distinct from Joe Biden's policy. So for instance, on the Palestine and the Israel war that's happening right now. Let me just say this. My history, okay, my background is in politics, and sorry, I just heard something. My house is really old. House that I live in, so like there are creaks and cracks everywhere. I have a background in history and politics and, human rights and things like that. I studied in school, so I know the history of like Israel and Palestine and the unrest over a very long time, decades. And let me just say this, for those of you who want to know my personal opinion, yes, I do want Israel to save, the hostages. Okay? Yeah. And two things can be true. Palestine should be free to move freely, and the Palestine people should be able to move freely and do whatever they want, including, getting electricity and heat and water and food, and get their own legal status, like being Palestinian in a Palestinian country. I think that's fair to say they should be able to do that. So two things can be true. Let me just say, just because you want the Palestinian people to have a future and to live and to have a life and education and food and water and to be left alone and, live in peace like the rest of us, does not mean you're a terrorist. I just want to put that out there. Okay. I'm a humanitarian to my core. So every single buddy who is suffering, I want them freed, of course. So for me, of course, I want the people who have been, kidnapped, in hostage by Hamas to be released. And I want somebody else to rule Palestine that doesn't have any terrorist affiliation or terrorist ideas. And to have like a normal, like Palestine be its own country. That's my personal opinion. Okay. That's what I am. Yeah. So Kamala Harris and Biden. So Kamala Harris, she is more like like I said, centrist leaning liberal. She wants to free Palestine, and Biden's like, no, I'm going to give $1 trillion more to Israel to do whatever they want to Palestine. So that's the thing there. So which is interesting. So because Kamala is just new to this race, we really don't know where this is going to go. We really don't know in terms of her policies. And of course, she's still technically vice president. So she can't really sway too much from her personal she can't really be too honest about what she really thinks and what her policy should be as president, because she's still vice president with Biden. So it's such a tricky situation, and I don't know how they're navigating it. But Kamala Harris has the smartest people running her campaign. There were, I think, the Obama people. They're the best of the Democratic Party that were working for Biden. So another Kamala Harris has some of Biden's policies and things kind of like Biden, but she is historically more liberal. Another reason, she's super experienced. Like she's not only vice president, but let's talk about her resume. Like, her resume is kind of amazing. I don't know. So she's born in Oakland, California. Harris graduated from Howard University, love, and the University of California Hastings College of the Law. She began her law career in the office of the district. First of all, let me just stop there. Every single person who has these type of ambitions have like summa cum laude or whatever. I'm so happy, first of all, that she doesn't have that, which means that anybody can be. I know it's like, of course, you don't have to have summa cum laude, but like, didn't Barack Obama have that? So I feel like everybody who wants to become a politician has like amazing education and got on, a you know what I mean, like Dean's List, and did amazing in school. And she's like, nah, I just went to Howard University. She went to University of California Hastings. Like, they're both amazing colleges. I mean, the best in the country, honestly, especially University of California. And I'm sure the University of California, Hastings College of the Law is like, yeah, one of our students is the president of the United States. Like, I don't know. I would I'll put like a whole statue if I was the dean of the University College of California Hastings College. I'll put a whole statue of Kamala Harris. Okay, in the foyer. Then she began her law career as the district attorney. So she was scouted, actually. I'm actually reading her book. She was scouted, and she became DA of the Alameda County before being recruited to the San Francisco's DA's office, and later the city attorney of San Francisco's office. And I think the reason why she became the attorney is because I think the person that she was working for in the DA's office complained against her and Kamala didn't like the way they were dealing with certain cases. So I think she resigned and left, and then she went to work for city attorney of San Francisco's office. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if I got that right. In 2003, she was elected as DA, so District Attorney of San Francisco. So she was District Attorney of, she began her career in the DA office, okay? And then she was a City Attorney of San Francisco, and then she was the DA of San Francisco in 2003. She was elected Attorney General of California in 2010. I think the first woman to be elected Attorney General of California, which is actually the biggest state in the country and also one of the biggest liberal states, very democratic state, in 2010, and reelected in 2014. So she did her 4 years. So she was the Attorney General from 2010 to 2018, I guess, or 2017, because in 2017 she became junior U.S. Senator. Harris served as the junior U.S. Senator from California from 2017 to 2021. So she ran for junior senator. She then defeated Loretta Sanchez in the 2016 Senate election to become the second African American woman and the first South Asian American to serve in the U.S. Senate. And then she then became vice president, but it was a few years later than that. Harris served as a junior U.S. senator from California from 2017 to 2021. She defeated, So as a senator, Harris advocated for stricter gun control, the DREAM Act, and federal legalization of cannabis, as well as healthcare and taxation reform. Again, very liberal things to do. She gained national profile when she was questioning what's his face, Brett Kavanaugh, a Supreme Court nominee who is now a Supreme Court judge in the U.S. Supreme Court. Harris sought the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, but withdrew from the race before the primary. So it was 2020. Oh, I thought it was 2016. But anyways, 2020. So she was just a U.S. junior senator, which is incredible. So she was a U.S. junior senator, and then she ran for president because of her. She has I'm sorry. I don't care what you say about Kamala, but Kamala has some balls. Like, she don't care. Like, she's the type of person who's like, yeah, I may not have the experience, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, that is so, that makes me want to cry. Like, I need to be like that personally in my life, in my career. She's incredibly inspirational and aspiring, and I definitely want to aspire to that. Yeah. So in 2020, Biden selected her to be his running mate, and their ticket went on to defeat Donald Trump, obviously, in 2020. So that's Kamala Harris. And the reason why I wanted to bring up her career is because she's very different from Barack Obama, in the sense that I honestly do believe that she's actually more, I'm going to say this, I'm sorry, I love Barack. I love his entire existence. I love his family. I love Michelle. But she's more experienced than Barack Obama when he ran for president. And people are still trying to say that Kamala shouldn't become president. For what God-forsaken reason, I don't know. I don't. I would get it if she didn't raise $100 million and beat records, like everybody's record, within 24 hours. I would get it. Okay. And the last reason why as well, I think the big reason too, actually no, two more reasons that people like her is, number one, people are thinking in this world where Israel and Gaza is a big issue, abortion's also a really big issue on the ticket, and also the border is also a big issue on the ticket, and the economy usually, but is because she said free Palestine, we think that she would take a different approach with Israel and Gaza. Biden wants to create a peace deal, a historic peace deal between Israel, Palestine, Iran, and the other Middle Eastern countries. That's why he's giving a lot of money to Israel to then buy Israel support in creating, or force him to, to do this peace deal. And that's what Biden's political goals and interest is in the region, and that's why he's doing that. Yeah, for the most part. And I think he also believes that I think everybody obviously believes that Israel has the right to defend their borders and defend their country, but it's how you're doing that, right? Anyways, so moving on. The last reason as to why people really like Kamala Harris is because she's popular. She's like the young people. Like, she has a huge following on TikTok. Like, the TikTok people really, really like her, and they really, really love her. And based on all the above that I already mentioned already. So going back to Barack Obama, like, she is absolutely more qualified than Barack Obama when he ran. Let me read to you what he did, okay? He graduated from Columbia University. Like, Barack Obama is in total elitist, not in a bad way, not in a good way. Like, he went to elite institutions. Like, he supports institutions, which I support too, and he went to the best of the best. Like, he's kind of like one of those prodigies. He graduated from Columbia University in 1983 with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in political science, and later worked as a community organizer in Chicago. In 1988, Obama enrolled in Harvard Law School. Again, Columbia, Harvard, like, versus UC and Howard. The UC and Howard is great, but like Columbia and Harvard, oh my God. Where he was the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. He became a civil rights. I think too, like, Barack Obama has an amazing writing ability. Like, he has writing skills that I wish I had. For me, I feel like my writing ability is more straightforward. Like, very, a lot of people like beat around the bush and use all the fancy. I just speak plain language, which my educators and professors and teachers appreciate. It's not that I don't know more words or whatever, right? But I just tell it how it is type of I don't know. Anyways, he became and that's the reason why he became a Harvard Law Review, because people say that, he would work on his own speeches when he ran for president because he's such an amazing writer. Anyways, he became a civil rights attorney and in academic teaching. So he was a lawyer, civil rights lawyer, and then he was teaching at the University of Chicago Law School. He was teaching constitutional law from 1992 to 2004, so that's about 12 years. He also went into elective politics. That's when he became a senator in the 13th district from 1997 until 2004. When he successfully ran for the U.S. Senate. So he also went into elective politics. Obama represented the 13th district in the Illinois Senate and then became senator. In 2008 presidential election, after a close primary election against Hillary Clinton, which I'll talk about in a minute, he was nominated by the Democratic Party for president. Obama selected Joe Biden as his running mate and defeated Republican nominee John McCain. So, obviously, John McCain would never have been president. And also, Hillary Clinton would have never became president. I love and deeply admire and respect Hillary Clinton. She's a brilliant mind. But she's not as popular. And she's not really good at humanizing herself as Kamala Harris has. And I think people still have a negative taste as to what she said in regards to the whole affair with her husband and Monica Lewinsky. So there's that. And also the whole thing about how she dealt with like her emails at the time and the documents. Remember, she was looking at her work emails at home or something like that. She was investigating. So because of that, and most importantly, she's not popular. She is an institutional career, candidate and brilliant, amazing, experienced woman. And she would have been president if not for the people's taste about Monica Lewinsky. Like, I don't think women really love her in the way she thinks she does. And the fact that she's not popular. People like to say this, like Barack Obama. The reason why Barack Obama also was very popular is because you can sit down and have a beer with Barack Obama. As a brilliant mind as he was, you can sit down and have a beer with Barack Obama. People can obviously, like, I can see me and Kamala dancing at a barbecue. I can see me and Kamala like having a beer at a bar. I cannot see me and Hillary Clinton having a beer at a bar, even though I would. If she asked me, I would say yes. That is because people don't. I don't know. I feel like if she was more humanized, like people humanized her and made her more human, I don't know, then this person is running for president, then maybe, but I don't know. People do not seem to like her in the way that they like Barack Obama and they like Kamala Harris. I think Barack Obama, like, he smoked marijuana growing up. He loves basketball. Those are things, and and the fact that he's a person who understands us black folk, and he's smart, he's like, he can speak in plain language, and he has his charisma. Like, Hillary Clinton doesn't have that, and I think that's why I think if she ran, she would still not be president, even if she runs after 2024. And that's why Kamala Harris would beat Hillary Clinton in any campaign ever, because they are both very, very different people. Even though, very, very, very both different people. I do feel like when it comes to the Israel and Palestine situation, Barack Obama, Biden, and Hillary Clinton is in one basket, and then you have others like, AOC. Kamala Harris would probably be here. AOC, oh my God, the guy who keeps saying cut taxes for the rich and corporations, Bernie Sanders, yes, he would be in that basket. So that's why I think Kamala Harris is gonna win. Is gonna win. She's gonna win. If she keeps on this steady pace, I really do think she's gonna win. And if she doesn't screw up the election, screwed up the debates, I think she's going to win, in my opinion, in my political opinion. And she's actually more experienced than Barack Obama when she first came in. I mean, Barack Obama was a lawyer for a short amount of time, and Kamala her entire career was a lawyer. And even though he became senator, she's had the experience of vice president. She follows Bill Clinton. Oh my God, Bill Clinton, that man follows Joe Biden through all over the world with the issues. She was a junior senator and she ran. So, and now she's running twice. So she has a lot of political experience, but also a lot of experience before she went into politics. So she's more experienced than Barack Obama. And it's not a bad thing. It's not it is what it is. But I mean, more experience than, it's a great thing, but it's not a bad thing for Barack Obama, but I'm saying more experience before he ran for president. Like, Kamala has more experience. She's vice president. She is vice president. Barack Obama just became senator for a few years before he started running, right? So represented the 13th district in the Illinois Senate from 1970 when he successfully ran for the U.S. Senate. So he was Congress, and then he ran for U.S. Senate. I think he was in U.S. Senate from 2004 2008. Could be wrong. Something like that. He did get the Nobel Peace Prize, but that's after he ran for president. I'm talking about before. Kamala Harris is still more experienced before Barack Obama became. Before he ran for president. Obama was named the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize laureate, a decision that drew a mixture of criticism and praise. His first-term actors addressed the global financial crisis and included a major stimulus package to guide the economy in recovering from the Great Recession, a partial extension of George W. Bush's tax cuts, legislation to reform healthcare, a major financial regulation reform bill, and the end of a major U.S. military presence in Iraq. Obama, so I don't really understand why he got the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize, but, I didn't work for Barack Obama. I wish I did. He was awarded it because of the extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. The Norwegian Nobel Committee announced the award on October 9, 2009, citing Obama's promotion of nuclear non-proliferation and a new climate in international relations fostered by Obama, especially in reaching out to the Muslim world. I guess he was doing things that was kind of out of the norm from his predecessors, and Obama accepted the award. I mean, who wouldn't accept a Nobel Peace Prize? Like, come on, like let's be for real. I would probably accept it, but I'll probably be imposter, but like, oh, little man, I didn't know. Literally. Obama's the fourth president of the United States to have won the Nobel Peace Prize, coming after Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, and Jimmy Carter. So he did a lot of, I guess, quite astonishing things. He had a lot of things on the agenda, Obama did, but so does Kamala. Kamala has to deal with the environment, climate change. Obama has to deal with, abortion, environment, all the wars that's happening right now. There are so many wars. There is what's happening at the border, which they've made it a big issue. We have the economy, the taxation, there's the debt. Debt's not really an issue anymore. What else? There's a lot more, I feel like. So I feel an inflation. I think economy is like a huge thing. I think a lot of people are really feeling the effects of inflation and the economy and things like that. So that's what I honestly do believe. And I do think that Kamala Harris will become president. She will. Mark my words. I just hope the campaign goes really smoothly, and she has my vote. My family's voting for her, so it is what it is. And I love Barack Obama, but it does seem like she's actually more qualified than Barack Obama before he ran for president. And those are my thoughts. That's been happening over the past few weeks. I do think Trump's campaign, yes, I haven't said Trump's name. I think his campaign is flailing. I don't know why they would pick JD Vance to be their VP, but I'm not their campaign manager, so I wouldn't know. Oh my God. It's time for me to go. And hope you guys like this episode of I'm About It. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully it's next week. Next week I want to see if I can, I'm trying to put up the Love Island. And I haven't finished watching Love Island. I've been really busy with life. So I've been watching Love Island, but I know Love Island has already ended or is coming to a close. Because I've been seeing a lot of the contestants that I love very dearly doing, interviews. So I definitely want to catch up. Until then, stay woke, stay healthy, stay safe. Bye.